Hi you two, it's Miss Addie again. For today's maths learning question, it asks us, can I make equal groups of tens? You probably guessed this was coming because for the last 2 days we've been practicing making equal groups of twos and equal groups of fives. So our steps to success say, I can count forwards and backwards in steps of tens. I can organise objects into groups of tens, and I can say how many equal groups there are and work out the total. Our star words say multiples of tens. So these are numbers we say when we count in tens. These numbers are part of the 10 times table. My second star word is pattern. Remember, all this week we've been looking at number patterns when we count in twos, fives and tens. We have a look at what happens to the numbers, whether they are odd, whether they are even, and if something special happens to the tens and the ones. We're using our NCETM slides today to help us again. So can you remember any number patterns when counting in twos, fives and tens? Pause the video for a minute and refresh your memories. Yep, that's right. When we count in twos, we skip our odd numbers and we say the even numbers, numbers that end in 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8. In our class, we say 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Even numbers are really great. Then we say 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I love odd numbers all the time. That helps us to remember the difference between them. Then yesterday we had a look at counting in fives and making equal groups of fives. And we remembered that when we count in fives, we count and skip every 5 numbers, and those numbers end in a 5 or a 0. They only ever end in a 5 or a 0. But today we're looking at counting in tens and grouping objects into group of tens. So if we're counting in tens from 10, you might have already guessed the pattern there. We just jump straight down the 100 square, just in a straight line down the column. And all of those numbers end in the same digit. Can you see what digit they end in? Yep, they all end in a 0. Let's practice counting in tens. Let's count forwards. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Can you see we're going up in intervals of tens? We're counting the multiples of 10. Each of those numbers end in a 0. So the ones digit ends in a 0 and the tens digit is increasing, it's going up. Let's count backwards. 100. 100 is a 3-digit number. 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 and 0. We've got our hands again today. Yesterday when we were counting in fives, we just had one hand because there were 5 fingers. But now we're counting in tens, so we need 2 hands. We need a pair of hands. So how many fingers and thumbs are there? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. There are 70 fingers in total. Let's have a look at the pencils. It tells us already each pencil is in a pack of 10. That means there are 10 individual pencils in each. Let's count the pencils. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. There are 90 pencils in total. Right now, we're going to be thinking about grouping our fingers on our hands into groups of tens. 1 group of 10, 2 groups of 10, 3 groups of 10, 4 groups of 10, 5 groups of 10, 6 groups of 10, 7 groups of 10. So there are 7 groups, and in each group there is 10, and in total I have 70 fingers. 1 group of 10 is 10 fingers. 2 groups of 10 is 20 fingers. 3 groups of 10 is 30 fingers. What would 4 groups of 10 be? What would 5 groups of 10 be? What would 6 groups of 10 be? Here we have counters, and they've been grouped into groups of 10. I can tell because they've been organised in such a way. How many dots are there? How many counters are there? Let's count the groups of 10. Instead of saying one group of 10, I can just say 1 10. 1 10. What will come next? 2 10s, 3 10s, 4 10s, 5 10s, 6 10s, 7 10s. I have 7 groups of 10. I have 70. Here are my counters. Should I count them one by one? No, I think I'll be here for a long time if I do that. I could group them. That would help me. I could group them into groups of 10. Let's have a go. 1 group of 10, 2 groups of 10, 3 groups of 10, 4 groups of 10, 5 groups of 10, 6 groups of 10, 7 groups of 10, 8 groups of 10, 9 groups of 10. I have 9 groups of 10. But how many counters is that in total? Let's count them in tens now. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. 9 groups of 10 is 90. Let's try it with the apples here. I could move them and group them. I could just draw around them and group them if I wanted to. 1 group of 10, 2 groups of 10, 3 groups of 10, 4 groups of 10, 5 groups of 10, 6 groups of 10. I have 6 groups of 10, 6 equal groups. They are the same. There is the same amount in each group. Now, what is the same and what is different about these? So I've got a set of apples on one half of the slide and a set of apples on the other half of the slide. Pause the video for a minute and have a look at each set of apples. What is similar about them and what is different? Yep, you might have noticed that they are the same. There is the same amount. There is 6 groups of 10 on one side and 6 groups of 10 on the other side. So there is 60 apples still in total, but they've just been grouped slightly differently. We'd have 10 plus 10 plus 10. That would be my repeated addition sentence. 10 plus 10 plus 10. I also have 3 groups of 10. I have 3 times 10. So when you draw your own groups of 10, can you see if you can draw them into an array? Can you even write the repeated addition number sentence? Right, enjoy.